everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.
You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. How are you today over there, Miss Wendy Jones? How are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed and proud to be here with Miss Kim Jacobs.
Well, I'm proud to have you here today. And listen, everyone, we're going to have a great, informative episode lined up for you. So make sure you share this broadcast, invite people to learn about something that I know I even need to know more about. So I'm honored to have you here today. What are you going to be talking about, if you could, just in a nutshell, let our viewer and audience know what they can expect?
What I will be talking about is scammers. I was scammed being a loyal friend of Charlie Kent Wilson, and I decided to write a book to heal myself and also to help others. So I have a TV show that's called The Watcher, Scammer Beware. So I want to educate people on how to avoid being scammed. It's so many scams out there, so many people getting scammed out of their hard-earned money. And it's devastating. It causes anxiety, embarrassment, depression. Some people even commit suicide because they lose so much money.
Yes.
And so I want to help people because I've been there. It's a terrible experience for somebody to scam you.
Wow.
And so how I got started was
wait. Don't tell them, y'all. You get ready. Whoa, Wendy Jones, you like we jumping right into this. Let's go. No bio, no intro, no commercial. We get ready to go. Y'all need to know this full information for the full hour.
I'm very passionate about helping people, and
that's so good.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm really grateful for that synopsis, that snippet of what we're going to be talking about today. What I want you all to do is, again, tag all of your friends, invite people to be a part of today's broadcast, and get ready for a kind of like a riveting background of what's happened. When we first come back, I want to make sure I introduce you, and then I also want to hear your backstory as to what brought you even to this point. Okay. When we come back right after this commercial break with our first episode sponsor, Hunter Everidge Law Firm. We'll be right back.
I'm attorney Charles Everidge. I started out representing insurance companies until my father was seriously injured at work. 4 of his fingers were amputated. Our family went through a lot, so I know what you're going through as an injured worker. If you've been hurt on the job, call me now. I'll fight to get the workers' comp benefits you may deserve. I'll fight for you like family. Put my experience to work for you. Call 704-457-5000, the first call for injured workers.
All right, everyone, we're back and we're talking with Wendy Jones, who is going to talk to us about being scammed and catfished and all of those things in between. I want to introduce her to you today, and she is a nurse, and she has a BS in science degree in psychology, and she's an author. She's written 5 books, and her husband was a minister of the gospel who passed away in 2021. She has 2 living sons, and I'll let her talk to you about what's happened even with her family dynamics, because that's here in her bio, but we'll be sharing some of her backstory. And she decided to write this book called A Loyal Fan of Charlie Kent Wilson, Scammed and Catfished, to heal herself from some of the trauma that she experienced being scammed. And so at this point, I just want to welcome Wendy Jones here to the Kim Jacobs Show. And let's hear your story. Let's hear some of your backstory, Wendy.
Yes, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I am a nurse, and I love writing. Romance writing and poetry is what I like to write about. However, having this bad experience being scammed, I decided to write a book about how to avoid being scammed, especially if you are a fan of a celebrity. And my husband and I, he passed away in 2021, and we this he was a minister. He was a great man. He was a powerful man.
Hmm.
My husband had been a military policeman, and I remember when I was pregnant with my last son, my youngest son, we used to go in the laundromat, and we would go, wash clothes. And this lady would always speak to me. She was always smiling. So when I went in the hospital to have the baby, she was afraid to ask my husband, you know, what happened to me? Because when I went back after I had my son, she said, I was so scared. Your husband looks so serious. I said, he's a good man. It's just that he's been in the military, and he was a serious type person. He was a
Right.
builder, and he always wanted to help people. And so when we got scammed, uh he was there with me. He wanted to help the person because he actually thought the guy was Charlie Wilson, because he had provided us so much, so many documents
Okay,
proving.
wait. So Charlie Wilson, the name of your book that you have here, Charlie Wilson, who that's American singer, right?
Yes,
That's the Gap band.
famous R&B singer
Right. That's
Charlie.
the only Charlie Wilson I know about, but I'm
Yeah,
trying to determine that's not who you're talking about, right?
yes, it is.
Okay, dokie. Okay.
Okay, so that's the story, the beginning of the story.
Right. Okay.
So, like I said, I was a fan of his, and my husband, always loved this song, "I Am Blessed,"
Yes.
and so I decided to post something very nice about Mr. Wilson on his fan page, and I had been doing it for like a couple of years, but this
Mhm.
time somebody posted on my post saying, well, if you are a loyal fan of Charlie Kent Wilson, then, contact, they gave me a link to contact them on Instagram. And so
Okay.
that's how it all got started
Hmm.
with me thinking that this was indeed the R&B singer, famous R&B singer, Charlie Wilson. And so we text back and forth, if you know and he about 3 months, and this guy, I'm thinking, he done asked me all about my husband, uh
Good
where did
gracious.
where did he work, and where did I work.
Gathering key information from you.
He was just pulling information out of me, because I'm thinking this Charlie Wilson. And so about 3 months into
Hmm.
texting, he said, well, my wife left me for the chef, and they hacked my bank account. And he said, I'm homeless and hungry, and I don't have anything. And who wants Charlie Wilson to be homeless and hungry?
Nobody. Nobody.
Because he had been through that
Right.
life one time. So, I told my
Wow.
husband, I
I'm looking
said,
at the comments over here too, guys. I see your comments coming in. I'll pop them up. Wow.
I
Okay,
told
go
my
ahead.
husband, I said, this guy said he Charlie Wilson, and he homeless and hungry.
Hmm.
And so my husband said, well, I don't mind helping people. He said, but I gotta have proof, because there's so many scammers out there. And the guy sent us a driver's license. He sent us the bank account, Rogers Bank, where they had taken he had $8 million in there, and he didn't have but like $3 left. He was saying that they had taken money out of his bank account, and he
Wow.
just sent me videos and pictures of just all kind of documents to prove that he was Charlie Wilson. So he
Okay, wait, wait. So stop in the studio audience now, which this woman, Wendy, has just described. How many of us would have easily been like, we're coming to the rescue of,
right,
in this case, Charlie Wilson? So
Wilson,
just
right.
be transparent in the virtual studio audience. Would you have stepped in and helped Charlie Wilson in this case, who she's talking about? Or would you have been like, nah, that's a scam? Based on them providing all of the proof that it is in fact the person. I think I actually would have. So
Yes, and we wanted to help him. So my husband said, "Well, okay, we'll send him some money. We always put money in church, and then, in fact, the guy, he used our spirituality against us. The thing that these scammers do, they use psychological and emotional manipulations to get you to give them money. So he knew that we were Christians. So he was saying, well, the Bible says you're supposed to feed the hungry. So he had us going. And so
and this is all through texting or
all through
work.
texting. Cause we
Wow.
said, well, can we call you and talk to you? No, we can't call because my manager won't let me do that.
So
So
every answer for every
he had an answer
situation.
for everything.
Now
That's
let me interject some of the virtual studio audience comments because they're chiming in. I see you, Sharice. She says hello to you, and then Sexy Scorpio said, "Hey, this day and age, no, I would not have helped Charlie Wilson and nobody else." Is what this person is saying. Clarissa Lee says, "I would have definitely helped." And speaking of Clarissa Lee, let's go back for a minute. She is definitely a person that you all want to connect with if you're looking to publish a book because she helped publish this one that you have here
yes,
today. And
she's
she is an
wonderful.
international book publisher and
Yes,
is welcoming the opportunity for other authors to connect with her. Please let her know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you her way. Okay, she'll take care of you over there. All right, Dr. Lotus Rashay from the Lotus Rashay Ignites show is on. I'm sure she's going to possibly have you as a guest on her show too. She said, "This is great information. Many of us get scammed like this, like you're describing, Wendy." Dennis Spraggins says, "Hey, yes, ma'am, I am a secured investment. If it actually was Mr. Charlie Wilson. Yes, yes. All right, all right." And Vanita said, "Wow. Wow, this is so crazy. People are always scamming someone. That is exactly why people
yes,
do not want to help people out." All
that's
right, go. So he wouldn't talk to you.
No, he wouldn't talk to us, but he had sent us all this information proving that he was Charlie Wilson, but it was all fake.
Hmm.
The driver's license looked authentic. The bank account looked authentic. The videos he sent of him look authentic, and so we wanted to help him.
Of course.
It's in our nature. We're Christians. We want to do God's work, and even though we found out later that he was a scammer. In fact, uh after things didn't seem to be working out, he sent us a check for $40,000. And he said, this check is good. This is from an investment that I went and I pulled this out of one of my investments.
Out of here.
He sent us a check. It's in my book for $40,000. I took the check to the bank thinking this Charlie Wilson, this is a good check. So took it to the bank, and the cashier, it was so much money, she called the manager.
Of
And I
course.
went back to talk to the manager. He was amazing, nice guy, young guy. He was really nice. And he said, let me check this check out. He said, I want to make sure
Of
it's good.
course. Of
And
course.
it was pulled on some kind of playground. And he could never get the people. And he kept calling the playground to see was Charlie Wilson an investor, and he could never get anybody. He said, "Well, I could go on and process this check." He said, "But if it's bad," he said, we're gonna have to cancel your account, and then you may suffer some fees." I said, "Well,
Right. Lots
no,
of fees if it's $40,000. You're
let,
gonna
let this
suffer way
go.
more some
I
fees.
said, let it go." And he said, "I advised you to go to the police department and make a report," and that's
Right.
what I did.
So
And
you actually never cashed the
I
check.
never cashed that check.
Wow.
No,
Great.
because he could never find out if it was a good or bad check.
Okay.
And the thing about it, I contacted the the imposter, and I said, they said your check was fake. "No, it's not fake. You did, this. He's texting all this stuff. It's not fake. You did something wrong. Oh, he just had a
Lit
fit.
into you.
Yeah, he lit into me." I said, "Oh no,
Hmm.
this is not right." And we finally realized that this guy had scammed us.
Well, when you realized it, let me ask you, and we're gonna take a commercial break and I'm gonna come back and get the answer. Were there any indications once you actually did come to the realization that this guy is scamming us?
Mhm.
When you look back, because hindsight is always 2020, everybody says that. Were there any red flags or signs along the way that really did make you think this is something is off about this through social media, through the communications via text? When we come back after this commercial break, I want to hear your answer. Is that okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Wow. We'll be right back, everyone. We're talking with Wendy Jones, and we're talking about how to prevent being scammed and catfished. She, a loyal fan of Charlie Kent Wilson, got scammed
Yeah.
and catfished. We'll be right back after this commercial.
I have peace of mind with Silver Shield Security, which has been protecting my family and home, along with servicing the Carolinas for over a decade. Silver Shield Security knows the importance of convenience and safety. Whether you live in an apartment, a home, or run a business, they are here to protect you from unwanted intrusions and fires. Call now at 704-440-4688 or visit the website at www.silvershield-security.com. You can use my promo code #ToneX and get 1/2 off your installation price. Don't forget to ask about the new no money down options. Let Silver Shield Security help to give you peace of mind, just like me and my family, and keep your business safe.
All right, everyone, we're back. We're talking with Wendy Jones here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And we're talking about being scammed, and catfish. That's a play on words, cammed, right? Okay, Wendy had this happen to her thinking that she was supporting someone that she's a loyal fan of, Charlie Kent Wilson. Now, were there any red flags that you had experienced along this conversation?
Yes, the fact that we couldn't reach him by phone was it was a red flag. Plus, you get this feeling in your gut. If you ever get this feeling, you're supposed to listen to it. That something is wrong. But then, being a Christian, you say, well, I want to help this guy because
Type
don't
that
want
somebody. A
him.
red flag is you can't reach the person by phone.
Right. That's
Put that in the comment section so you'll have your own notes for later. Dr. Lotus Rache always says, if you are a note taker, you are a money maker. So make sure you take some notes here. Red flags. Okay, go ahead. What other red flag?
red flag was that he wanted us to send the money through cards and through a Bitcoin machine, and you were never supposed to do that, and because there's no way for you to trace the money. I don't have a bank account. He said his bank account was hacked and that they closed his bank account. And I said, well, don't you have any friends? I don't want my friends to know.
You
You
know,
know,
Charlie Wilson got plenty of friends, right? The real Charlie Wilson guy.
right,
He's
right.
like, look here,
You
look
know,
here, look here, look
friends
here.
to
Start
know
singing
they're
and doing
after,
all this.
they're after me and they just want to see me fall. Oh, he had an answer for everything.
Wow.
So his friends wanted to see him fall. He had came up and then now that his wife had left him, They wanted to see him fall. So
Hmm.
we was the only somebody that could help him. He
Now,
was
how did he get in
definitely
touch with
a
you all in particular? Like, and was he wowing you with gifts? Or, oh, because you said on
yes.
you had followed
He
him and he started reaching out to you
right. And he did send me flowers. He sent me
to
flowers.
your
He
home.
to my home because he wanted to show his appreciation because we was he sent me this big beautiful bouquet of flowers. This guy was a professional. He sent me a necklace. He sent a Charlie Wilson t-shirt. I'm telling you, he was on it. He was on his
So he
scam.
wowed
And
you with things that were like things that fans would receive, some
yeah,
memorabilia, some
says,
paraphernalia stuff, stuff.
yes. And
Wow.
and doing my research, I found out that a lot of these scams come from Nigeria. And in the 1920s,
Wait. I have to put a disclaimer there because I have global viewers and I
okay,
have a lot of viewers that are not scammers from
okay, well,
Nigeria
this
as well.
is
So I just want to make sure
from
that
the
you know
Secret
scammers
Service.
are everywhere around the
Yeah,
world.
they're everywhere. But this is from the Secret Service. I did a lot of research, and they do have universities in Nigeria that have taught undergraduates how to scam. This is true. This
Oh,
is
this is facts. Okay, I just
this
don't know
is
these facts.
fact. This is fact. And
Okay.
they have an anti scam law in their criminal code for this 419 scam. It originated in Nigeria, and
Hmm.
this is fact. And this scam is very prevalent. I'm sure a lot of people have gotten this scam through their mail where they say that you've won so much money, and if you send some fees, that is the 419 scam.
Yes,
Yeah.
I get that. I get that all. And so how
uh,
do people even get you to be the person that they decided that they're going to scam? Are you just in a database? Do you know? I don't know because I get
they are
scam approached.
cyber criminals. These guys are professional. Not only that, they have a network of people that they work with, banks, services, all kinds of stuff that
Wow.
people that they work with that help them. This is serious stuff. And
Literally.
people just don't know. I was innocent. I was like an innocent babe. We just wanted to help somebody. Not,
Oh.
I had never been scammed before.
Mm.
And so I didn't know that scammers had a network. And I tell you, since I've been scammed, I went back on Charlie Wilson's fan club. And these guys, they are still surrounding his fan club. In fact, they're probably surrounding a lot of celebrities fan club because that's where they get the money. People love these celebrities, and they can, they use celebrities to get money. Like Charlie Wilson supports orphanages. They'll tell you, well, send so much money to this. Or you think you send it to Charlie Wilson and you send it to these scammers.
So how do you know the difference then between the person that is genuinely supporting an orphanage and out here making an impact in the world and living his best life and doing what he says he's going to do with the money? But then there's an imposter that's using his information and getting any money for
That's
themselves. How do you
something that he need to deal with because, like I said, I went on his fan page last week, and they contacted me and said same thing. If you're a loyal fan of Charlie Kent Wilson, then contact me on
Dang.
Instagram. And I did naturally because I wanted to see what was going on with this.
Right.
And the guy, he wanted to know where I worked, how do I support myself, how long had I been a fan of Charlie Wilson's. And then he come out with, well, would you like to support my orphanage, or would you like to support my cause? I said, no, thank you. I said, where are you calling? Where are you texting me from? And he blocked me, blocked me, blocked me. He said, oh, this is somebody who knows something. They are still
Wow.
after Charlie Wilson's fans because his fans really love him.
Of
They just
course.
they are so proud that he was able to pull himself up from a bad life, and so they support him. And these scammers use that. I
Hmm.
mean, they really use that, and it's something that I think he needs to look at because fans are falling victim to
Well,
this
one of
scam.
our viewers, Clarissa, which your publicist actually says, does she still receive threats from the scammer to this day?
Yes, I do. They taunt me. They are very upset with me because I wrote the book. In fact, I put my book on Charlie Wilson's one of his websites, and the guy told me take that book off that website, take it off. And I said, no, I'm not taking anything off. I said, you don't have the authority to tell me to take something off of Charlie Wilson's website. I said, "You not Charlie Wilson. I'll leave it on there as long as I want to." And they
Wow.
call, they text me and pretend that they're somebody else, and then they threaten me.
So the police is aware of this, is what you're
Oh
saying.
yes, I reported this to the FBI, the local law enforcement, the FTC, and it's not much they can do about it. Like I said, a lot of these scammers are international scammers, and they on some of them. It's this guy called Ray Hush Puppy. He's made $480 million off of scamming people. They recently got him. He scammed some COVID money from America, and he is from Nigeria. I don't want to, you say you don't want to, but he is from Nigeria, and he was living in Dubai, but he's got
You know,
connections.
I love my Nigerian viewers, and I love my
Well,
Dubai
I'm
viewers
just
too.
telling the truth is the light, and
Right,
they
of course.
know this. I have some Nigerian friends. In fact, I text a Nigerian pastor constantly, and they know that the Yahoo boys is what they call them. These are the scammers, the Yahoo boys, the Yaya, the
I know
Yayi, or
none of
whatever.
this stuff.
And
I would be so scammed. Good gracious! I'm so
they
glad you're
know
coming
about
on
these
here.
people. They have written songs. They are very famous in Nigeria. They
Hmm.
have written songs about these Yahoo boys. So they know in Nigeria that they do have a lot of scammers that scam, and these people get rich. They get filthy rich. Ray Hush Puppy had a fleet of Rolls Royces. He had so much property and so much material. It was amazing. This is from the Secret Service.
Wow, this is
So
very informative. This is
yeah,
extremely enlightening information that you're sharing.
I know. I didn't know any either. Had I known that it was a lot of scammers out there, I would have been more careful. That's one reason why I want to educate people to knowing that these scammers are out there. They just waiting to entice you. And they have psychological and emotional manipulations they use because they study this stuff. It's not that you stupid and you gullible. These people are professionals. They know how to get to you, like the
Right.
spirituality way they got to us. That strategy really worked on us
Huh.
because, like I said, my husband was a military police.
So
Now,
he has a good
yeah,
eye, a good knack for this kind of thing,
yeah,
and
and
he
so
still fell
they
victim
fool
to.
him. If they can fool him, they can fool anybody. And there are investment scams. These people are really smart. With these investments. So they use the same psychological strategies on everybody.
Wow.
It's whatever they can get to you with, they'll use it because they just want money.
Wow, this is
And
I'm looking here at this article too, and it says that 1 in 10 adults fall victim to a scam or fraud every year, and 1.3 million children have their identities stolen every year. And this is right here. I just Googled it and I'm like, this is a high number of people getting scammed and frauded
Right.
throughout the year. And they said nearly 50,000 seniors, according to the Comparatech, I think Comparatech.com. It's several different sites that have these statistics on here. But if you just Google how many people get scammed a year is what I put in the computer, and it's all kinds of alarming statistics that come up.
That's right. And it's all kinds of scams out there. I was doing research, and this guy from Jamaica, he scammed these older senior citizens out of $87,500. He told them that they had won the lottery and they had to pay a fee before they could get the money.
Wow.
And they fell for it. And see that you have to make sure that your parents or grandparents are protected. You gotta, keep up with what they're doing and how they're spending their money. And
That's so good. Good
this
advice.
guy, he was a black guy, and he just took all their money, and he got
Oh,
like
goodness.
18 years in jail. But these people done lost all their
All their money.
hard-earned money.
Right.
And a lot of older people lose all their savings and retirement. It's terrible. So that's one reason I would like to inform people and educate people on how to avoid these scams.
I'm glad you're here to do that today, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And listen, you all make sure you stay connected with Wendy Jones by J Wendy Jones at AOL.com.
Yeah,
J Wendy Jones at AOL.com. She'd be happy to be able to give you advice and tips on how, or even maybe you share some of the things that you think might be a concern. Share it with her. She might be able to give you
yeah,
some feedback on it. That's really
absolutely.
so your message that you're wanting to convey to the world, I know you have a book here, and I want to put that image up for people to know. How do they obtain a copy of your book?
Amazon.com.
Okay. So
It's
if you go
where
to Amazon.com, everyone, you'll see a loyal fan of Charlie Kent Wilson. And in the book, the main takeaway that you want people to walk away as a reader is what?
uh, be informed and know, that there are scams out there. It doesn't matter. You get all excited about a celebrity, and they know that these scammers know this. And my book is like a guide on what not to do when you are contacting or you're on a celebrity's fan page, because I put in there from start to finish how I got scammed. So it's like a guide how not to get scammed or how to avoid being scammed,
Hmm,
especially if you were, contacting a celebrity. And it's fun being a fan of a celebrity,
right.
but it's no fun if you get scammed. If you
No,
they take
not at
your
all.
money.
That changes the whole dynamic. When we
This
come back after this commercial break, Wendy, I'd love for you to tell us maybe 3 tips or something that would help us as me as the host, but also our viewers and our audio podcast listeners know how to avoid getting scammed. What are some things we can look for? Because I need to know. I know the red flags, but I want to know what can I do to make sure I don't fall prey to this. And you have the answer. We'll be right back after this break.
Nothing says I love you more than final expense insurance whole life protection with funeral advocacy nationwide, saving you and your family 30 to 80% off funerals and cremations. Nothing says I love you more than Get Insured Solutions, LLC. GetInsured.Solutions. 704-499-3616.
All right, everyone, we're back. And oh, Wendy is okay. Let me pull her out for a second. She's getting in her seat. I was like, hey, we're back. No, I'm back. All right, listen, I know that you all are in the virtual studio audience. I'd love to hear some of the comments that you are sharing regarding Wendy Jones and what she's sharing about being scammed and catfished. She, a loyal fan of Charlie Kent Wilson, was just a fan, a genuinely authentic, sincere fan, and was catfished and scammed by people that took advantage of her loyalty to someone that she admired. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. If you have you ever been scammed and how did you deal with it? Please make sure that you put that in the comment sections. We're gonna pull our guest right back in right now. Hey Wendy.
Hi.
I was like, what's happening to me? All right, so give us 3 tips, if you will, on how to prevent being scammed and catfished.
First is be informed. Educate yourself on, the various scams that is out there. And you can do that by watching my show, The Watcher, Scammers Beware, which comes on the Daily Gospel Network, 3:30 p.m. on Saturday.
I'm gonna write that down. I didn't capture that, so I will get that. Being informed to prevent being scammed. All right, I want to make
Right.
sure I put that. And then let's get your show again one more time. What is it?
It's called The Watcher,
Okay.
Scammers Beware. And it's on the Daily Gospel Network on Saturdays 3:30 p.m. Now that airs on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon.com.
Okay. On the
And
Daily Gospel Network at 3:30 on Saturdays, Eastern
yes,
Standard Time, right?
yes,
All right, I want to put that too because everybody's on different time zones. And you can catch that every Saturday. I'll put that in here so you all will have that information. Make sure you all check out that show, which is The Watcher, Scammers Beware. And you better beware messing with Wendy Jones. She's going to educate you. She's going to put her own incognito self in there and start asking her own creative questions. Now, that's a bold
yeah.
move, by the way, Wendy. You
Thank,
becoming
thank
a
you.
person that behind the scenes start doing your own investigations. How do you decide to do that too?
Well, I find the scammers and the scam that they are perpetrating on people.
Hmm.
And then I tell people how to avoid that particular scam. Like I found this lady, she was said she had cancer, and she convinced everybody for 2 years that she had cancer. She even went to get some cancer treatments, and she had gotten over $200,000 out of people through GoFundMe, and then through a GoFundMe page. And they found out that she was a fake, an imposter. It's so many scams out there. And this
Hmm.
guy, this you got to hear this. This guy named Dalen Pierce, he was a romance scammer. How he charmed these women into giving him all this money is beyond me. He was a nice looking guy, but he wasn't that nice
Now
looking.
we're all not no millions, huh? Like,
He conned this lady out of $240,000 on an investment scam. And according to the police in Scottsdale, Arizona, he didn't even have an investment license. And he also got this woman, she didn't have any money to go to the bank and take out $100,000 to invest in an investment. And they asked one lady, what did he do to you? And she said he was just real charming. He I was divorced, and he just said the right things, and I fell for his charm. But anyway, he's gotten 18 years in jail, but they'll never get their money back.
right, right.
And that was a terrible thing. And another scammer that's notable is like Bonnie and Clyde,
Hmm.
but it's Sneed and Sneed. Crystal Sneed and Kyle Sneed. Kyle worked for this hospital in New York, and he got all the patients' records and the credit card numbers and everything. And he gave it to his wife, and she uh, got their American credit card numbers and everything. And she got the money and went on a shopping spree at Saks Fifth Avenue and bought all of this merchandise from people that was patients in this hospital in New York. It's so many different scams out
Yeah,
there.
I'm reading what you're saying while you're saying. I'm actually
Mhm.
pulling these different ones up, and they are
Yes,
public knowledge.
yes,
And
they're public knowledge.
there is
And
public knowledge here, which I'd never heard of any of
yeah,
these things at all, but
it's a
I do
terrible
see the
thing.
difference.
It's a terrible thing. And unless you are aware of these scams, they'll get you. And like I say, you don't have to be gullible or stupid. They use a psychological thing. In this case, with the hospital, they should have had more security, I think. You
Right.
know, he was able to go in the hospital records and get credit card numbers, and she would call and pretend like she was a senior citizen or somebody, and they would get this merchandise, you
So
know.
you said point number one was being informed to prevent being scammed.
Yeah,
That's
you got to
important.
be informed
Number
about these different kinds of scams. And
what's number two?
number two is, don't give your personal information to anybody. Now, it's hard sometimes to not give your personal information to anybody, to somebody, but do your homework. Know who you're giving your personal information.
That's
Do
good.
research on the person. As you know, if it's you want to give to a charity, do research on the charity.
Yeah,
Find out
please
where.
get some of Gabe's Heart Foundation. We don't even know hundreds of nothing, thousands. The people, that's the weirdest part to me, Wendy, is that like a show here, the Kim Jacobs show, or whatever. I'm just using myself as an example, but
Mhm.
there are situations where you're trying to make sure it's a pure, wholesome,
Right,
accurate situation, and those kind of situations don't always get supported or funded at the level that someone that comes out and does the flashiness and the
right,
hey ho ho, and guess what? There's great amount of funding going in those directions. Not that everybody that does that is scamming you, because everybody that's doing that may also be just a billionaire or millionaire mindset, and they've learned some great tips and strategies that's yielded them the result that they have in their lives. So not everyone that's walking around with the Rolls Royces or the houses or the mansions
that's right.
are people that are scamming people. I don't agree with
That's right.
that. I
No,
actually think that many of them have worked very hard, and
that's true.
they've earned the right to live in that manner.
Absolutely.
But there are some situations where, like you're sharing here,
That's
lots
right.
of scams that's happening.
Yeah, that's why
And
you have to do your research and see which ones are good and which ones are bad, because you don't want to, like we did, get a hold to the bad ones and don't know where your money went, because we'll never get that money back. So, it's a
all
terrible
right,
thing.
point number three.
Don't send money to anybody that you don't know. Uh, because if it's too good to be true, like an investment, if they tell you you're going to get a 100% return on your investment,
Right.
that's a lie, because there's always some extenuating circumstances where, you may not get 100%. So you have to be careful about everything and watch everybody and do your research. Stay informed, do your
That's
research.
good, Wendy.
Don't give money to anybody, especially through Apple cards or Google cards or big companies, or things like that. And that's the main thing that those scammers do on like
Hmm.
on the Charlie Wilson fan club. They ask you for gift cards, so
They
that's a
ask you for
red
gift
flag.
cards.
They ask for gift cards.
Well, see,
Yes.
let me say this, because I know I've asked for gift cards in years past with Gabe's Heart Foundation, and And when people gave the gift cards, they mailed them with the receipt attached, and we distributed them
Mhm.
to the community. So I didn't even think there was anything wrong with that. But is that not a
But
good thing to do?
no, they have a network where they cash these gift cards in for money.
Oh my
Yes, they
goodness.
do. So, and
So
you'll
they
never
get the gift cards and then they go personally and cash the money in, is what you're saying.
right. They pass it through their network that they have.
Wow,
They have
wow.
banks. They have so many. This is a big network of criminals. And like, that's why the FBI, the FTC, and local law enforcement is onto it.
Yeah,
I have
I'm sure they are.
I talked with the FBI, and when it first happened to me, and they said, well, we'll take your complaint, but we'll look into it. But if it's international, it's not much we can do. And they get so many complaints. In America, we are good-hearted people,
Mhm.
and they target Americans,
Mm.
with a lot of these scams. It's a
Wow.
terrible thing. It really is.
So those are three great points, making sure we don't send our money to anyone that we
Right.
don't know
That you
or
don't
that
know.
they're making it too good to be true. Make sure you all make note of that point. And then the other one she said was, let me pull that one up. You said, don't give your personal information to
No
anyone.
personal information to anybody because they can use it for identity theft.
That's
For one thing.
Yeah, and that does happen. True, that happens within families and buddies. So we're
Yes,
talking
that's
about
true.
international scammers and you're naming different people in different places, but that happens right within family and friend circles too, scamming,
Yes.
you know? So on social media, I wanted to find out, do you know of organizations or sites that help people in these situations?
SCARS is a good support group.
How do you spell that?
It's Citizens Against Relationship Scams. It's SCARS. You can find it on the internet, and
But
it's a
scars, like
great, yes, yeah, like a scar you have on.
okay. I
It's a
actually talk
it's a
about scars
great
in my
support
book,
group.
Extreme Balance Makeover, but it's not this kind of scar. It's talking about,
No,
but it could be situations
yeah,
that cause an outcome and a result in your life, and how to not keep getting the same type of scars in our lives. Okay, but
right.
Scars is an online organization that helps people.
Oh, yes, help people who have been scammed, and they have steps that will follow, and people, wonderful people that help people. I was on a scam interview with people that was from all over the world, that's been scammed. They're not just getting scammed in the United States, they're getting scammed all over the world. And it's the same MO.
Yeah,
They contacted people, especially in these romance scams. They contact them. They text them for day and night, day and night. This is to get them, involved, thinking they are so.
wow.
In, they call it love bombing. They
Love
think they
bombing? I never even heard of that. Oh my gosh,
yeah, make
I need
them
to take a
think they are
course.
so in love with them. They tell you, and that's another red flag. If somebody meets you and you've been texting them for 2 days and they say I'm in love with you, that's a red flag.
Like, bye
And
bye.
so
And you ain't no love with nobody no 2 days. Get out of here.
and these women from all over the world, it says the same thing. The guys tell them how much they're in love with them, and then the next thing they got an emergency. The daughter's in the hospital, or their business done failed, or like this guy told me he was homeless and he was hungry. They come up with this urgency so that to
That is
get
so
you
good to know.
to, and they befriend you, and then they come up with an urgent situation so you can send them money. And after they get the money, or they get as much money out of you as they can, then they disappear. You don't hear from them. And some of these women were just devastated because they thought these guys was really in love with them. It's heartbreaking. It
Wow.
really is.
Well, it really that is devastating to hear what you're saying. I wanted to kind of know, and I'll look it up too, what the difference is between. I hear people say scam and catfish. Do
Mhm.
you know what the difference is between the two?
It's the same thing.
That's
When
what
you've
I
been
thought.
scammed, you've been catfished. Because we were scammed and catfished because he, like I said, convinced us he was Charlie Wilson.
Hmm.
And then he catfished us out of our money. So, because we
Okay.
thought that he was actually Charlie Wilson. I mean,
Okay.
it's some sad. It's really
So
sad, when you think about it.
it's
And
very
then
sad.
you get where you don't trust your own judgment and you don't trust people, you know, because here I am thinking, most people in the world are good people, but
Me too.
there's a bad element out there that you have to be aware of. And majority of people are good people, but you have to watch
Right.
because there's some evil. These people are heartless. They don't care. All they want is your money.
Hmm.
They take your money and they disappear. That's the
Wow.
419 scam. In fact, they make songs about these guys. Like the guy I was telling you about, Ray Hush Puppy. He's famous in Nigeria. Really, I keep saying Nigeria, but this is where a lot of these scams
I
come
mean, if
from.
that's where he's from, then you can't help but say the one area because that's where you
And
experience
they make
experience was.
the rappers glorify these guys.
Well, it
This,
actually says it here, the 419. I'm looking here on this site
mhm.
about the Nigerian letter scam definition
Yes,
and how
see,
to avoid it.
I
It's
didn't make
actually
this
on
up. It's true.
investopedia.com. Anyway, it says, and I don't have my glasses here. Oh, here. I don't, it
No,
says
I
the,
didn't make it up. It's true.
oh, no,
And
no, I see. The Nigerian, hold on my glasses for a second. The Nigerian letter scam, also known as an advance fee fraud or 419 fraud, is a scheme in which a sender requests help facilitating the illegal transfer of money, basically. And wow, okay. Then
yeah,
the other one I looked up too was the difference between that and being catfish. And catfish was saying, according to the
mhm,
urbandictionary.com, being deceived over Facebook as the deceiver professed their romantic
right.
feelings to his or her victim, but isn't who they say that they are. And also having like a fake Facebook profile, images, and avatar in order to lure
Oh,
people
that's
into
true.
having. Well, I've been catfished not by no romantic person, but by people that just creating fake profiles and acting like they
They
somebody else,
have so
having whole
many
conversations.
fake. They have so many fake profiles. I went to
Who does that?
Bentown.
You go to the extreme to do that. That's insane to
Uh-huh.
me. That's insanity.
They
Not
have
catfish. They
so
should put
many.
insanity.
It's a big business for them.
Hmm.
So they don't have to worry about working. They just sit and figure out what kind of scam that they're going to perpetrate and victimize on people. And they sit back and collect the money after you have worked 9 to 5, day after day, making all this money for your family. And then they come along and they take your money.
Hmm.
And it's sad. It
It
really is.
really is.
And
So
like I
this,
said, some people commit suicide behind that because they've been lost everything.
but it
It's
didn't. It didn't make you go that route, thankfully. But
no,
I
I
was
am a Christian, and God always with me, and I'm what you call the bounce back lady. I'm gonna always bounce back because I know God is here. We all have a purpose,
yes, we
and my
do.
purpose is to help people. And so it doesn't matter, what happens as long as God is with me.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to hear that. So grateful that you and your husband made it through this very unfortunate
Yeah.
situation. How has this changed your life as a result of what happened to you?
Like I said, I don't trust people like I used to. It's like from going from an innocent child to one that's been experienced.
Right.
So I have experienced being scammed, and I no longer trust people. I don't take them at face value. I go and research and try to find out what's behind who they say they are. Are
That's
they who they say they are?
yeah.
And that's how it's changed my life, because I was just like a happy-go-lucky person, and
And you
you know,
still are, by the way.
thank you. I grew up that way, and so now I'm just, I gotta watch you and make
Right.
sure you are the person you say you are, because you're not gonna you fool me once. It's your fault. Fool me twice. It's my fault. It's not
That's
gonna be
right.
my fault. You
That's
know.
good. Good advice that you've shared today on this episode. I can't believe the time is going so quickly because this is such an informative topic, especially when we're talking about bringing balance to the world one household at a time. This
Right.
is the kind of stuff that I think that we need to know when we're running around here living our busy lives, trying to
Mm,
help the people that we can help
yeah.
in life and having our right intentions. Then
Yeah.
there are other things that's happening unbeknownst to us that we need to be able to take the scales off of our eyes and become aware of. And that's what Wendy is doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anything that you didn't say that you definitely wanted to say on today's episode?
Just be careful and be aware
Hmm.
of, everybody that you don't know, and some that you do know.
Right.
They
Because you don't know that you're scammed until it's happened. And then you're like, it, are they ignoring me? Are they not going to take my calls now when they got my money?
That's right.
That's a problem. And so sometimes you don't know that.
Money, and then they disappear. You don't know which way they went or what happened to
Hmm.
your money. It's a terrible thing. It's a
Mm,
terrible thing.
mm, 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 mm. Well, I do want to take a time to thank all of our episode sponsors today. Get Insured Solutions. They deal with end of life expenses. If you are trying to care for a loved one and you know that end of life is coming, then having some of the income be able to stay back, the money stay with you and your family versus having to put it all to burial expenses is what Get Insured Solutions offers. And then also Hunter Everidge Law Firm, if you're dealing with disability or wrongful death of a family member or someone,
Mhm.
definitely give them a call. They're in the Alabama area, they are in the Richmond, Virginia area, and throughout the Carolinas. And let them all know that the Kim Jacobs Show did send you their way. Silver Show Security is also one of our episode sponsors in the Carolinas and Georgia area. And then CTR Media Network. We're now streaming. That's why I kept saying what I was saying. We're streaming in 350 million households,
Mm.
46 countries with CTR Media Network. So thank you
Okay.
so much, CTR Media Network, for allowing the Kim Jacobs Show to be on your platform. All right. This has been extremely enlightening. I want to make sure I
Thank
ask
you.
you how to be safe online. You talked about that and gave us some great tips. I just wanted to make sure I didn't leave anything out. This is a never-ending topic, in my opinion. So,
Yes, it is.
how do you? It's not one of the questions that we had there, but I want to know,
Mm.
how do you just pick up after people have violated you that way, and then just move forward like it never, not like it never happened. How do you just move forward with this?
With us, like I said, my husband was a minister, and I'm a minister's wife. And I was before he passed away, and we just prayed our way through. We prayed our way through, and with the support groups was a big help. And you start doing things that make you feel good, like going to church, exercising, eating good meals, and
Mhm.
do things that make you feel good, because it's a horrible thing to know that somebody that you thought you was helping, just took your money just to go and do whatever they wanted to do with it. And like I said, it's hard earned money. You got to work hard for that money, and you don't want to just give it to a scammer.
That's right.
So
This is good.
we had to pray our way through that.
And then it
And
puts everybody on edge because now you have children adult children as well, and they are on alert, looking out like, don't get scammed again. Give it to me first before you even consider
Right.
any
Yeah,
investment, you know?
absolutely. You don't want to. You could do a lot of things with that money. You could have. We could have invested that money for the children and the grandchildren. Instead, the scammer got it.
And now your husband has transitioned to be with the Lord, so he's no longer here, and
Yeah.
one of your children too, right?
Yes. My son Jason was murdered in 2015, and his murder was never found. He was sitting in the car with one of his friends, and a guy came up to the window and said, "Give me your car." He was in his girlfriend's car, Altima, and Jason was the kind of guy. He's a big guy, big and handsome, and and tough guy. And he told the guy no. He said, "You
Mm.
ain't taking nothing from me." And he shouldn't have done that. Well, I don't know. But the guy did, and he shot in the window. He shot his friend, and he shot Jason.
And his friend
Friend,
survived
his friend survived, and he was able to tell
the story.
police what happened, but they have never found who murdered him. And it's terrible because he left two beautiful daughters, and
Mm.
they still really young, and they need their father.
Of course. You
So
have my deepest sympathy and
yeah,
condolences. I know it's been years, but it never, time just
no,
does not matter how long
it's
it's been.
like it was yesterday.
I know, I
You know,
know, I know.
you know. Yeah, he was a fun-loving guy and he cracked jokes all the time. I'm telling you, that boy, he was something else.
Aw,
Like I
and then
said,
your son that your
handsome and tall and big. And he was a good guy. He loved motorcycles. He worked for T-Mobile, and he was a good guy.
and you have another child as well, right?
Yeah, well, I have two more sons.
So
So
2 more sons that are here with you, and
yes, I
I'm
do.
sure they're watching out
One-
for mommy a lot, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. They definitely looking out for me. And my son lives in Arizona. I live in Alabama. The one he wants me to move to Arizona, and so I'm working on that.
All right, yeah, it's time to get with the kids. Get with them and just let them love on you some, right?
Oh yeah,
And love
yeah.
on grandma.
Yeah, my love me. I love them too. They are the sweetest kids. They are very sweet, super smart. Uh, my son lives in Arizona. His daughter, she graduated college at 16, and she's going to. She graduated high school at 16, and is attending college. And she is so smart, very smart.
Wow, awesome. So Vanita, we're getting ready to close out. I just wanted to give you the full hour, like, because I know we came on a few minutes later. But my ex-boyfriend, Vanita says, pretending to be someone he wasn't for 8 years, but he could no longer hide himself because during the pandemic, he ended showing his true colors. And now he acts like he is the victim.
Hmm.
That happens, yes.
Yeah,
You have people that have been married and and
right.
you've been scammed and didn't know it, huh?
Oh no, really, utilize your negative experience to feel 100%. That's what I'm doing. That's why I wrote a book. And I love people and I want to help people. That's one reason why I became a nurse. I'm just used to loving on people and taking care of people, and that's what I'm doing now through my book.
Well, you
Act,
all make sure you get a copy of
accentuating
this.
the positive.
Yes, make sure
Yeah.
you get a copy of this book. I think there's a slight delay. That's why, but anyway, make sure you get a
Yeah.
copy of this book. A loyal fan of Charlie Kent Wilson and how she was actually scammed and catfished by an impersonator. So
Right.
make sure that you all get a copy of this on Amazon and stay connected with Wendy Jones, and I'm going to put her information up again one more time for you. You can email her directly at jwendyjones@aol.com. jwendyjones@aol.com. All right, I would tell y'all, but I don't know if I should or not at this point. But in order for this program to thrive and survive, we definitely need community support and contribution. So feel free to support in any way that you can. And I can tell you my team of individuals knows that they receive whatever pretty much you are sending our way so that I can keep them helping with the Kim Jacobs Show. Okay. All right. So closing comment, and we're going to close out.
One thing I like to I like to give honor to is Les Brown.
Okay.
He is one of my heroes.
Aww.
I know he is connected with your show in some way, and I just wanted to mention that.
Well, we all love Les Brown, and he's been very touchable and approachable from people around the world. And again, even as a celebrity, he still takes time to return the phone calls or to talk to people, get on their different shows. And he's just a real hands-on person. And he's made a tremendous impact in so many people's lives.
And what I would like to leave people with, always do your research. Don't just give money, out. Find out what the charity or the company is about before you release money.
That's right.
And that way you don't have to worry about not giving money through gift cards, because if you know what the company is about and, you check them out with the Better Business Bureau, whatever organization, investigate and find out before you release your money, because you won't get it back.
Yeah, no, you don't want to not get your money back after you thought you were doing something and it backfired on you. So this has been a great conversation. I hate for it to end. I hope that it's been a blessing to you today in the virtual studio audience. Please let me know, because I'll know whether these are shows like this that you're interested in hearing more of. And we'll continue to bring balance to the world, one household at a time. I'm Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor. Wendy Jones, podcast host. Tell them who you are one more time.
Wendy Jones, beware. The Watcher. The program is The Watcher. Scammers beware. I'm so excited to be here and to talk with your viewers and to give this information out to help people. I'm very passionate about helping people and making sure that they keep their hard-earned money and let it go where they want it to go, and not some scammer sitting back, getting fat, buying Rolls Royces and all that. It's a terrible thing that they're doing to people.
Wow. Well, I'm so glad that you stopped by the Kim Jacobs Show today. It has been a tremendous blessing to our viewers. I've been working all of the buttons myself, so if you've seen my eyes going different directions, I'm trying to make sure I give the best possible experience to Wendy, and also pop up and type up everything that she was sharing today. I didn't want you to miss one moment of it. Thank you for being a great studio audience, and thank you, Wendy Jones, for being an amazing guest. Go get your copy of the book right on Amazon today and let it bless your life so that you can know how to avoid being scammed and catfished. That's our episode today. Today is also a National Ugly Sweater or something day too. So make sure if you have an ugly sweater and you want to toss it on, go ahead and toss your ugly sweater on. And if you're watching the replay, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode, either the first time at the original airing or when it's replayed. Either way, the information is universal and can be shared over and over again. Bless somebody else with this broadcast, okay? Have a great one, everybody, and talk to you soon. Stay backstage if you will, Wendy, okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow, everybody, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, it's going to be next week now because it's the weekend. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.